I dated my first Trust Fund Baddie when I was at Howard University. I met her when I was a summer counselor for one of the summer programs they hosted on campus. She was there attending it, and I didn't really know much about her until word started going around that her family had a reality TV show. And one day we had this thing called the Yard at Howard, which is this open space where everything, the main buildings of the campus are connected. And so during the summertime or just throughout the year, people always walk there. So one day late at night, I'm kind of heading that direction, walking by, and we crossed paths. And I forgot what sparked the conversation, but we started talking, and eventually, we're just off into, I guess you could say, a first cue crush kind of thing on each other. So we're walking and talking, getting to know each other. I've always been very fashion driven. So at the time I had these shoes called Balenciaga Arenas, and she was asking what are those shoes? I was like, Balenciagas. She said, oh, those blah blahs. And part of the reason she said those blah blahs, of course she wasn't a big fashion girl, but she was from a very small town called Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And I'm actually in Murfreesboro right now recording this episode of Trust Fund Baddies Podcast. So it's funny how life works. I originally was actually supposed to come here while we were talking in college. I was going to visit her, but by that point, the relationship already fizzled off and we no longer were connected. But a very beautiful experience. She was an amazing girl. She just came from a really great family. Her mom and stepdad were just really wonderful people. They had just a really great family dynamic. It was very wholesome, very just close, tight. Truly blood sticking in water type of thing, right? And so it was cool, and I love to see that about them. And so I learned a lot about her dynamic, and she was a great girl. Truly one of those girls that I would say was ready for marriage. Even from a young age, she was always going to make a great girlfriend, wife, mother. A lot of very solid just characteristics and traits about her. But at the time, of course, I'm young, I'm in college, I'm still somewhat exploring my options. We had a bit of distance situation that happened with us as well, too. So it was a lot going on at the time. And so, being young, that just wasn't a relationship that I would, long-term be invested in. And there was also a lot of things I was introducing her to. So back to the fashion conversation. So she didn't really know anything about Balenciagas, and she was like, oh, blah, blahs. So I'm introducing her to fashion, high-end fashion to be exact. And it even makes me honestly kind of smile when I think about when I was younger, I was much more romantic. So the first date I took this Trust Fund Baddies on was to this steakhouse seafood restaurant in Georgetown, which is this very schwank area in Washington, D.C. So we're there at the date, having a good time. And I brought a gift on the first date. I brought her some Balenciaga shades. It was these green Balenciaga shades, and I brought them from Barney's, New York, which, rest in peace, Barney's, New York. If you know, you know. But I got her these shades. We had this great date, and it was wonderful. And so we talked for a little bit. I remember even taking her to get a really nice leather jacket. I had some connections at this store called All Saints, and one of the homies, actually two of the homies worked there at the time, and so I took her there, and they hooked us up with a discount, and she got herself a jacket from there. And so I was introducing her to a lot of high-end fashion. She was showing me what it meant to be raised in honestly a positive and just well-balanced home, and I was showing her some finer things of life. And of course too, she's from money, right? So she's living in a crazy crib, and dad has a jet and all these kind of things. But when it came to the taste, there's more to money than just money. There's also being able to have taste with money. And although I'm not a man that was always I wasn't born into money, but I've always had taste the older that I've become. And because of that, I've been able to blend into certain rooms just because of my taste, the way I dress, the way I carry myself. So here I am introducing a high-value woman that already comes from money, a certain aspect of taste and a certain artistic expression of using this money. And not even just that. At the time too, I was really big on fitness. I was working out all the time. I'm even if she honestly, I feel like she would admit it, but I got her hooked on yoga. Like she wasn't doing yoga, nothing like that before. Your boy was doing yoga. I was doing yoga in my room, had my little yoga mat. I would do like push-ups and yoga and then go to, at the time I was working at, I wasn't even working at Northwestern Mutual yet, but I would go to the YMCA and I would work out there. And so your boy was on, I was handling my business and locked in. So I got her hooked on yoga. So I was, showing her things about health and things about fashion. We took trips to New York for Valentine's Day. This was a super cool thing. So for New York Valentine's Day, I want to say it was NBA All-Star weekend at the time, and she once again reality TV, so she had like a few little like press engagements she needed to go handle and whatnot, so I was hanging out with her for that. And we went to Barney's New York again. She got me a pair of Common Projects, and I can't remember what Common Projects, I don't know what the price are, but it's a couple $100, so. And at this time she's 18, I'm like 19, it's like we're young, and this was my entry-level stage to even really having like my first girlfriend. It was always like this high standard. And we honestly had a really good relationship. It's just if it wasn't for just distance, because she had to go home due to some things just for a little while during the school year. And I'm young. I'm 19. I'm in school. I'm busy with this, busy with that, and so it just fizzled out. But still, much love to that Trust Fund Baddies. You are. I want to speak on her current status. She's in a very happy situation, and I wish her the best on that. And so, so it's a beautiful thing. And so, since the age of 19 years old, man, I have been attracted to women that had stupendous value to my life. I just know what it's like, I know what it's like to be around girls that are nurturing, in a sense too, that providers. She looked out for me a lot too. I mean, to be quite fair, she looked out for me a lot. I mean, a lot. Back then she cashed out me a couple of times, and I appreciate that. I had a terrible internship that summer. Well, it wasn't terrible. I had a good internship. I was with Northwestern Mutual, but I was, selling life insurance, and that is a commission-based process. So I'm selling insurance. I'm not selling anything. I'm trying to sell insurance. I'm going on marketing, but making no money, and they're paying us like $100 a week. So I barely had money for food and to just travel to get to the office. And so she looked out for me from time to time, and I appreciate her for that. Of course, I would pay her back. For sure, I paid her back. So I appreciate her for that. And yeah, it's just really cool. I'm just sitting back thinking God really blessed me with some amazing women, and that's why it's Trust Fund Baddies only. You guys see I got the tee on. Get the merch. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and get the merch as well. We're dropping more to come, but this is just a little something. So yeah, Trust Fund Baddies only. So you guys will be proud though. I didn't just, go from one Trust Fund Baddie and I fell off. I actually transitioned from one Trust Fund Baddies to another Trust Fund Baddies. And so she was a girl that I had about a 2-year relationship in college at least. And so she was the smartest girl I ever met. Just brilliant. I've talked about her before on Instagram. I mentioned that I had this calculus class and it was crushing me. I was about to fail that class. At best, maybe get a C, but no, I was about to fail that class. I was going into the finals with a D, and I get to the finals, send her the questions on the test. 30 minutes later, she comes back with it, all the answers, and I end up getting a B in the class. And I had a 79.5, so I was borderline C. And it was just an amazing thing. And she was an amazing girl too. I saw once again an amazing full house dynamic. It's a 2-parent home, siblings, they did family vacations, they had this family tradition. It was very warm. My first time going overseas, as an American citizen, was to visit the Trust Fund Baddies. She lived in Canada. So went to Canada to go see her and her family, and it was amazing. This exquisite home, lakeside, Just amazing. And so mom was amazing, took care of herself, really health conscious. Just to say right now, both of these girls, their families took care of themselves. The current Trust Fund Baddies from Canada, dad's a doctor, mom does super, mom activities. The first Trust Fund Baddie I met, her mom, entrepreneur, dad, entrepreneur, retired, pro athlete. And so, once again, just amazing, accomplished women that came from amazing, accomplished parents. And so it was a beautiful thing. I was inspired. And I've literally, since then, I've always been hooked to Trust Fund Baddies. And so this is really something that, for me, my first time dealing with, I would say, a low-value woman and like dating her seriously, it just threw me for an absolute curveball. Because even after the second Trust Fund Baddie, I went to Howard. This is like the mecca of Trust Fund Baddies. Like, this is a place, Howard is a place where the wealthiest black families in the world send their kids. And this is a place where kids turn down Harvard, Yale, Princeton to go to Howard. And so this is like the upper echelon of like black excellence, to say the least. So my third Trust Fund Baddie, another Howard girly. She was smart as well. Doctor or pre-med based trajectory. I would drive a car. It was an amazing thing. What was even a really cool thing too, at the time I was working at Saks Fifth Avenue. And so I would hook her up with my discounts, and like she would buy like Valentino like dresses and heels and like Louboutins and like it was cool. So once again though, right, here I am adding value. Now with this Trust Fund Baddie, I'm giving her access to my luxury discounts. I'm just also a cool guy. I'm Marvin Goodly, so why would you not want to date me? The second Trust Fund Baddie, I could have been more supportive, to be honest, but I really do feel as if that like I still was able to like challenge her in many different ways, and like she was inspired by me. I wasn't like, once again, these are like, I'm talking about my dating life from the ages of like 19 to like 22, right? So still you're at a very immature state, but I'm trying to be as honest as possible with every woman that I deal with so that I'm not just selling a dream. But once again, I was there. I'm showing her a lot of, cool things. I'm inspiring her. And so I've always been a man that, I've always been a high value man. I take care of myself. I've always been, well educated. I'm well traveled. I'm knowledgeable about just different cultures. And so I'm just a very unique and interesting person to be around. And that's just another element that you have to make sure you embed in your lifestyle. You have to be unique. You have to be like a Dos Equis man, a man that everyone is, interested by. I got a cool cowboy hat on this podcast. He wasn't expecting that. And so, yeah, it's really cool. And here I am right now, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Life is full circle. Trust Fund Baddies only. This is where the first Trust Fund Baddie I ever dated is from. I'm going to go see the town a little bit. I'm going to go head downtown to Nashville to enjoy that. It's a beautiful thing. Life right now is amazing. I really feel that you have to put what you want there out. What you want, you have to put it out there. And that's how it comes to you. Like, I'm wearing this shirt because, like, literally, Trust Fund Baddies only. The brokies, they're not going to come around me today. It's just like, they don't feel like, it literally said, like, this is like a brokey repellent right here, but all the cool Trust Fund Baddies that are like, they like interesting things and like, they're a little edgy. They're going to be interested and intrigued by me, to say the least. And so that's what I challenge everyone to do, is just continue to be a curious person. Go out there, learn as much as possible. Be honest about all your engagements. Be honest with the people that you're with. Be respectful. One thing I'm very big on is, no matter the places I've been in, I try to respect them as much as possible. My ex-fiance, I'm like, but much respect to her though. She's what helped spawn all this. But yeah, all my ex-partners, man, I just try to be as respectful as possible. And just, be nice to everybody, man. Never, I would say, talk down about the people you've been with, because at the end of the day, the experiences and the wisdom you gain from those relationships are the reason you are who you are today. So your success is attributed to your past partner. So all the former women I've been with, thank you so much for what you've taught me. I am building the most, fortified community in the world, Trust Fund Baddies community, and I'm just very grateful. I can say that with much wisdom also comes much sorrow, but you turn the pain into gain. And so make the most out of everything in life. Live with no regrets. Push yourself to the limit. And I want to be able to help you guys more and work with you one-on-one. And if you're a, successful high achiever, but you're drained and you're just fed up with attracting women that don't reciprocate a fraction of the value that you give them, and are you ready to, bring in a trust fund baddie, a woman that sees you for who you are, she understands you, she respects your sacrifices, and she wants to contribute. She's not there to compete, but she's there to complete. If that is something, and you're a man where you want to find that type of woman, you want to attract that type of woman, apply for Trust Fund Baddies Academy. The link is in the bio. You're going to get a chance to work with me one-on-one. My team is going to connect with you, and we're going to get you to where you want to be with the woman of your dreams that has a trust fund baddie, because you are a trust fund man that is deserving of the world. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to this podcast, and we'll see you on the next run. I'm going to go have a good time. Yeah.